So welcome back to Biff's YouTube channel. What a great all-star race. Man, the Fords have been fast this year, and glad to see the Roush Fenway cars right up there battling again. But Joey Logano, my God, no one can touch that car. Qualified in the pole, fast all day. Did have some challengers. What about Kyle Larson? Kyle Larson coming, Harvick practices his car, starts at the very back. They don't even talk about him until they discover he's in sixth. Then he comes in and puts the soft tires on. It looked like, I watched his interview, it looked the same to me, like he's going to run these guys down and drive off. And he passed a few cars quick off the start, but then the tires kind of equalized and track position came. I mean, if you're not up front, you're not going anywhere. I saw the battle with Logano up front trying to put people a lap down, and lap after lap after lap, they're just fighting and fighting and fighting. I think it was Wallace that he was up there fighting to put a lap down, and those guys are just, it's so hard to pass. You get that guy on the outside, and it takes away your line to put the throttle down and come off the corner, and you can't do anything, and then there's the bump off the corner. Car gets a little bit sideways. Great racing. I thought it was. Not as much action. Of course, fans love to see people wreck stuff and tear up a bunch of things. Speaking of that, there was a incident in a wreck. Kyle Busch and Ricky Stenhouse. Of course, have to talk about that. From the first view of it, I thought Ricky ran Kyle into the wall. And looking back at it, it looks more like Kyle gave him room, was a little bit high, had to, he was outside there, but when it came down to it, there wasn't really room. Yes, Kyle bounced off the wall first. Ricky was there. Kyle bounced off the wall again, infuriated him. I'm not making excuses. I'm not making, who's right, who's wrong. But if you want to get in the driver's mind, right? Granted, it's a short race. So etiquette is different. Driving it in there 3 wide on lap 1, he said Kyle left him room. Well, Kyle probably ran down in the corner, overdrove it, got a little tight, ran up the hill. He's going to diamond it back. I think if you watch all those cars run, especially when Logano was trying to pass these guys, it's that run off the corner. So he ran up, granted, he drove in there. Kyle probably mentally said, okay, I'm going to leave him room. Got wide, bounced off the wall, hit him, wasn't really room. That's just the way it is. I'm not pointing fingers at either guy, but pissed Kyle off. When you run into the fence in lap 1, get irritated. Maybe he hasn't been running as good as he wants to. I've been there, paid him back right away. Said, I want my spot back. Gave him the bump. I don't think that Ricky liked that either. So after the race, they have their altercation. Ricky takes a little jab at it. Kyle's a bit taller than Ricky is, so not really sure if that punch really landed. But anyway, a scuffle ensued. I get it. People are pissed off. Kyle mentions later, I'm tired of getting run over. It's not always the same guy, but maybe he's tired of getting used up. I will tell you, when you're not running as good as you want to, the aggressor maybe as much so, you may feel like somebody's using you up more, and it might be the case. So I get it. It's kind of that culmination of everybody's attitudes, and they're tired of it, right? Ricky's tired doesn't want to get people wreck him. Kyle's tired of people using him up. So shit happens. And that's about all I can say about it. But I thought it was a great race. Kyle Larson, again, I mentioned him. What a great job he did over in Indy. Makes us, we kind of feel like we're in that car with him. He's representing the NASCAR world and the NASCAR drivers, whether I'm current driving or not. I think a lot of us kind of come around him when he's over there in that car, and it makes us feel proud. They got a great program. He's driving a really, really good car. Obviously, that makes a hell of a difference. But wow, were the Penske cars fast. When he qualified fast time, first of all, he made the quick 6 cars, but he qualified fast. I was like, holy cow, this is real. And then those Penske cars came out and laid down some laps, and I was like, woo, well, they got a little bit more work to do. But again, for what he was able to accomplish, it being the first time in the car, pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Just goes to show you the talent that guy's got. Of course, you got to have the whole thing. Got to have the team. Got to have the car. Got to have the group that knows what's going on. So you got to have all that stuff. You can't just have one piece of it, and they got it all. They got it all right now. Got lots of cool things coming up. This last weekend, I surprised my niece, went out to Washington. A buddy of mine was having alley night, the Slow Pokes. I made a quick trip of it. Ryder got to see Grandma Sally, and I got to go to Slow Pokes and see all the old badass cars, chat with the guys. Man, I mean, from setting speed records at Bonneville, these guys winning NHRA events, all the stuff that they've accomplished in their lives, and to see all the cars they've got, it's such a cool thing for me because I love cars. Big thanks to Andy. I got to see all my high school buddies, so it was a cool weekend, really cool weekend. And I got home in time to see the race at Wilkesboro. So some of you may have seen when I was in Washington, I was going through some old memorabilia stuff. I'm looking in the closet. Here's this Granger jacket hanging up. And I'm thinking, how cool is that? Christina's looking for a sweatshirt to wear or something because it's going to be cold at alley night up at Andy's house seeing the Slow Pokes. I grab the jacket and put it on, and I say, how about this one? Reach in the pocket, and there's stuff in the pockets. This is how long this jacket has been hung up in the closet. I pull it out, open it up, and I'll be damned if it's not the timing and scoring from practice from April of 1998 from Portland Speedway when we ran the oval. And it was so cool to see the names on that list. It's crazy to think Bob Keselowski, Brad's father, is on there. He's fourth quick. Jack Sprague, Ron Hornaday, Jimmy Inslee, Bounds on there, Harvick's on there. Wallace is on there. Rick Crawford's on there. All the guys I raced with. I think Tony Roper. I'm going off of memory, which is not great, but there's so many cool things on there. I drove by Portland Speedway, which is gone now, kind of a field. It looks like they built maybe a building or two, but really didn't develop it. That was my rookie year. And I'll never forget that race for a bad reason. I raced there my whole life. I know where we start races, which is different than the trucks. It's only my third race. I think it was my third race in the trucks. So I'm nervous as can be. And coming to the green, I go where we normally go. They throw the green, and anyway, I jump the start. So they black flag me, pass through penalty, and I think the day goes from bad to worse from there. Come back the next year, race at PIR, which I never raced at. So still my hometown, but I've never raced at PIR before. Go over and race on the road course and actually won over there. So it was pretty cool to win in my hometown. I'll never forget. Benny Parsons is there. We go to my little pub and grill, which I had in town afterwards. Those are great memories. I miss Benny dearly. So he was a great friend. And of course, this week is the vote for the NASCAR Hall of Fame. I have my fingers crossed. I get voted in. I believe it's tomorrow, which I know it is. I'm going to be there. All I can do is hope. There's so many great names on the list. I'll be disappointed if I don't get voted in, but it's my first year being nominated. So I have 10 years to be on the ballot to get voted in. Of course, everybody wants to get voted in on year one, but there may be some guys in that ballot that are at the end of their 10 year from being on the ballot. And it's only 2 guys. So I know there's about 60 votes total. So we'll just wait and see what happens. I'm also going to be going back down and working on the landing craft some more and getting ready to launch it. I'm going to document it. We're getting ready to put this thing in the water, sea trial. Hopefully it doesn't sink. Hopefully things go well. Where's it leaking water at? If you guys know boats, something's going to be wrong. with all the work we've done to that thing. So calibrate the autopilot and the electronics I put on board. Hopefully everything works. Sea trial and get it ready to go to the Bahamas. That's going to be a cool crossing. I don't know if I'm ready for that, but 24 hours across the pond. First of all, it's going to be almost 2 days down to Palm Beach from where I'm at. I didn't think it's that far, but stupid me, geographically challenged, that's a long ways at 8 miles an hour. So I'll be kind of sharing videos and documenting all that mess. Hopefully it's not a mess, but you know how stuff goes. So glad you guys could tune in to the Biff's YouTube channel. Listen, hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends, check this stuff out. I got some funny shit coming. Stay tuned.